Hello students, in this video of ours we are going to do the second part of your first chapter, that is crop production and management. In our first video we have done the agricultural practices such as preparation of soil, sowing and manuring of the field. Now in this part of this chapter, second part, we will be doing the other agricultural practices. Now, the next agricultural practice is irrigation. All living beings need water. We need water to live. So do the plants also. Plants also need water for their proper growth and development. So we need to supply water to the plants. All living beings need water to live. Water is important for proper growth and development of flowers, fruits, and seeds of plants. Water is absorbed by the plant roots. Along with water, the water is absorbed by the plant roots. The roots are absorbing the water, and then they are sending this water all over to the stem, branches, and leaves. You must have seen trees of many meters of height. So the last leaf is also getting the water from the root only. And this is being possible because of the vascular tissue xylem, which conducts the water from, these are like the pipes which are conducting water in the pressure, which are conducting water from root to different parts of the plant. So the roots are absorbing water, and with water they are also absorbing minerals, nutrients and fertilizers from the soil. So this is also the function of contain nearly 90% water. Water is essential because germination of seeds does not take place in dry conditions. So for germination, you need water. The supply of water. What is irrigation? Irrigation is the supply of water to crops at different intervals. That means the plants need water, and the water has to be supplied to the plants at regular intervals, and this agricultural practice is called irrigation. The time and frequency of the irrigation varies from crop to crop, soil to soil, and season to season. So it depends what kind of soil is there in your field. It depends what kind of crop you have sown, and it depends which season it is. The quantity of the water required by the plant depends on all these things. All crops do not require equal quantity of water. Some plants require more, like paddy. Paddy in its initial months has to be in water only. So it requires more water. In some plants, they require less water. And depending on the season, also the requirement keeps on changing. Now, what are the sources of irrigation? The sources of irrigation was used to take water from the water reservoirs nearby. And these can be wells, tube wells, ponds, lakes, rivers, dams, canals. So these are the sources. Now, in traditional methods of irrigation, the water, wherever it is available, whichever is the water source, from there the farmer used to bring the water in the containers to irrigate the field, or the farmer would use the cattle labor to bring the water. So the water available in wells, lakes and canals is lifted up by different methods in different regions for taking it to the fields. Cattle or human labor is used in these methods. So these methods are cheaper but less efficient, and the various traditional ways, the traditional ways of irrigating the field are moat, that is the pulley system, or the chain pump. So these are the traditional methods, the old methods which were used for irrigation of fields by the farmers. So these are the pumps. Pumps are commonly used for lifting water from the well, from the tube wells, and the diesel, biogas, electricity, and solar energy are used to run these pumps. Now, what are the modern methods? The modern methods are a sprinkler system. Now, here these modern methods of irrigation are helping in conservation of water. because water is a natural resource which has to be conserved. It is available in limited stock. So we have to conserve water. So modern methods of irrigation are taking care of conservation of water, and this system is more useful for the uneven land where the sufficient water is not available. Now, what we are doing in this sprinkle system is the perpendicular pipes are there. The pipes are connected, perpendicular pipes, and all these pipes, they are having rotating nozzles on top of them, and they are joined to the main pipeline. And this main pipeline is taking the water from the source. It can be any source. It can be well, tube well, pond, lake, whatever it is. So this, from this source, the main pipe is bringing the water, and it is bringing water to the perpendicular pipes, small pipes. On top of these small pipes, we are having rotating nozzles. Now these rotating nozzles are irrigating the fields and sprinkling the water all over, all around them. So when water is allowed to flow through the main pipe under pressure with the help of a pump, water comes out through the nozzles, and it irrigates all the plants which are near that nozzles. The second modern method of irrigation is drip irrigation. In this drip system, here also we are conserving the water, because here the pipe is there at the root. So the water is supplied to the root, and the water is not going waste by the evaporation, because normally what happens when we are irrigating the field, because of the heat of the sun, when the 50 or 60% of water gets evaporated by sun, and it is not being used by the plant. But here in this modern method, we are conserving water by this drip system. Now what happens in this system? The water falls drop by drop, and just at the position of the roots. So from the roots, because the water is absorbed from roots only, so at the roots we are giving drop by drop water to the roots, and that's why it is called drip system. And it is the best technique for watering fruit plants, gardens, and trees. And here we are conserving a lot of water, because the water is not going waste by evaporation. Now this system provides water to plants drop by drop, and water is not wasted at all. It is a boon in regions where availability of water is poor. Where availability of water is poor, it is a boon, because we are conserving, we are saving a lot of water which is otherwise going waste by evaporation. Now the next agricultural practice, weeding and weed. What are weeds? Weeds are the undesirable plants which grow on their own automatically. They grow naturally along with the crop. So what happens when they are growing with the crop? They are competing with the crop for the nutrients, for sunlight, for air, everything. So in this competition, our crop is not getting sufficient nutrients, is not getting sufficient sunlight, is not getting sufficient air for its proper growth. So we have to remove these weeds, because these weeds are undesirable. So how can we remove these weeds? We can remove them manually, or we can use some machines, or we can use chemicals to remove them. In a field, many other undesirable plants may grow naturally along with the crop. These undesirable plants are called weeds. The removal of weeds is called weeding. Weeding is necessary since weeds compete with the crop plants for water, nutrients, space, and light. Thus, they affect the growth of the crop. Tilling before sowing of crops helps in uprooting and killing of the weeds, and when they dry up, they get mixed with the soil. Weeds are also controlled by using certain chemicals, and the chemicals which we use for removing these weeds, for killing these weeds, are called weedicides. For example, 2,4-D. These are sprayed in the fields to kill the weeds. They do not damage the crops. The weedicides are diluted with water to some extent, and they are sprayed in the field with a sprayer. Now the next agricultural practice is harvesting. Harvesting is once the crop is mature, we have to cut the crop. So harvesting of crop is an important task. The cutting of crop after it is mature is called harvesting. There are many harvesting seasons, festivals also, because in Punjab, in Haryana, when the harvesting is going on, people rejoice the harvesting. People celebrate it, and these are called harvesting festivals. In harvesting, crops are pulled out to or cut close to the ground. It usually takes 3 to 4 months for a cereal crop to mature. So harvesting is done after the crop is mature enough for consumption. Now, harvesting in our country is done either by manually means with the help of the hands, or by sickle, or by a machine which is called harvester. In the harvested crop, the grain seeds need to be separated from the chaff. So this process is called threshing. This is carried out with the help of a machine which is called combine. Farmers with small holdings of land do the separation of grain and chaff by winnowing. So winnowing can be done to separate the grain from the chaff, and there is a machine as well which is called combine. Now storage. Once the harvesting is being done, we are not going to consume all the crop, all the yield at one time. So we need to store it. Now to store it also we need space. We need a spacious place where there is proper sunlight, where there are no microbes. That has to be clean place. So storage places have to be maintained to store our grain. Storage, because lot of grain, lot of cereals, lot of pulses are going waste because of the poor management of storage places. Because if your storage place is not good enough to keep your crop in healthy condition for consumption for long, then your crop is going waste, because until and unless it will reach the consumers, it has to be stored properly. So we have to keep the crop safe from rodents, we have to keep it safe from microbes. So for that we have to store them properly. Now to store them properly, first of all we have to dry them, because if the moisture is there, once when you are harvesting the crop, there is moisture in the crop, and with moisture the crop is susceptible for the microbial attack. So to keep it safe from the microbes and other organisms, we have to dry it. So that sun drying should be there for the for the yield, and after that the grains have to be stored. So storage of produce is an important task. If the crop grains are to be kept for longer time, they should be safely stored from the rodents and microorganisms, because rodents, rats and microorganisms are the pests which are which are damaging our grains. The fresh crop has more moisture. If freshly harvested grains are stored without drying, they may get spoiled or attacked by organisms. So, uh, dried before storing. Now, farmers store grains in jute bags like bori, which we call. These jute bags or the metallic tin bins are there. Big containers of metallic bins are there. However, large scale storage of grains is done in silos. Silos are also a long, big containers and granaries. So these spaces, these rooms, these storage places, godowns, where the storage of crop is done, that place is called granaries. The granaries and silos are used to protect them from pests like rats and insects. Dried neem leaves your mother must be using to keep pulses and rice, uh, to be protected from the attack of the microbes at home. For storing large quantities of grains in big godowns, a specific chemical treatment is required. So fumigants, the fumigants are used, the chemicals are used to protect the place from pests and microorganisms. Now we will learn a new term which is called animal husbandry, because whatever we are eating, we are the sources of our food are not only plants. We get food from animals as well. Like we are having milk, we are having eggs, we are having meat. So we are having lot many foods which we are getting from animals. So animals have to be taken care of if we want food from them for us. So animals are reared at home or in farms. There are farms, animal farms, where we are rearing, caring for the animals, and at home also we can rear them for the food. So we have to take care of these animals, we have to rear them, we have to provide them with proper food, shelter and care. So when this is done on a large scale, it is called animal husbandry. So what is animal husbandry? Animal husbandry is a branch of agriculture itself, wherein we are taking care of animals from which we are getting our food. So we are rearing them, we are caring them, we are giving them good food, we are giving them good shelter, good care is given to them, so that we get good quality of food from them. And this whole branch is called animal husbandry. So with this, we have completed the first chapter, that is crop production and management.